Jimmy, we were asking our guest today.
Yes, Keith. Good morning. By the way, can I just say this, Keith? Yes. I've never met these other two gentlemen. Hello, gentlemen, Jim and Will. It's a pleasure.
Nice to meet you, Jimmy.
Well, give it time, Jimmy.
Well, I mean, it's a pleasure to meet them. I know it's going to fucking sink bad, and it's going to go. It's going to spin out of control in a heartbeat. I've seen Jim's previous work. There's no way we get along. I agree with you, Keith, but I wanted to come out positively and say pleasure to meet them, and know that it's going to spiral badly almost immediately. Go right ahead.
Well, speaking of police, by the way, Jim, has your terrorizing telemarketers got you in trouble with police?
Yeah, I did these. I'd mess with telemarketers. I got a few albums out or whatever. And one time the telemarketer called and I don't know, she was trying to sell me something. I forget what it was, but I said, it'd be good.
Kill you.
I hit this old lady with my car and I got to pay her medical bills. So, if you could give me a loan, that'd be great. And then at the end, when she's like, okay, give me all your social security numbers so I can hook you up with this loan. I'm like, I got to get out of this somehow. I go, you know what? I'm just going to go find that old lady at the hospital and just smother her with a pillow. Kill her because I don't want to pay her bills. I just blurted that out at the end. And the woman's like, I got to go, and hung up. And I'm laughing. And then I didn't realize she had all my information right in front of me. So she called the police in my town saying that this guy is going to go kill this old woman at the hospital. You better go check it out. And then
Did they call you or show up?
No, a half hour later, 2 detectives knocked at my door.
Wow.
No way.
Yeah, and they're like, "Hey, can we talk to you about this call you were just on?" I'm like, "Are you serious?" And they came in. Can we come in? I'm like, "Yeah, sure." They're looking through rooms. They thought maybe I was like an old lady that was dead in my room. So can we check this room? I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." I go, "Look, I'm just making prank calls. I'm just messing around." The guy, and he had my license. He's like, "You're 37 years old. What the hell is wrong with you?" And he made a good point. I go, I don't know. I should have stopped this when I was 14.
We were asking Jimmy, the guests, relationship wise, what would your exes say? I guess politically also, what would your exes say is your biggest problem? What would they all agree? And you might as well tell me the pros, but I'm more interested in the cons. What would they say is your worst qualities?
I don't think there's anything, to be honest with you. I think that they all get together and talk about how great of a guy I've been over my lifetime. I don't know. How the hell do I know? I don't know. Yeah, first of all my exes live in Texas. You know that, so be careful going on in that area if you want to. If you're ever going through that, that's a major state, and they're making America great again.
I like when guests say, "How am I supposed to know that?" I think when we reach a certain age, we're supposed to know that.
Well, listen, Keith, I guess my point is I'm not comfortable sharing my cons. How about that?
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's probably the same as everybody. I can be an asshole. I'm controlling probably sometimes. I'm a horrible gift giver. I'm a horrible gift receiver.
Ooh.
I'm defensive when people ask me about my feelings.
First of all, it's 8:30 in the morning. I know you guys are going 24 hours here. I think it was a mistake for me to join while you guys are finishing and while I'm waking up. This was bad on both ends. And then you throw Florentine in the mix, the whole thing's a fucking mess. I can't follow that. The guy just got the detectives came to his house. What are my cons? My girls think I'm mean. Who gives a shit after Florentine's great story? He's got detectives at his house, for Christ. He's got Kenny and Lacey stopping by. Where's the old bag? And you're asking me, does anybody not like you for any reason? Who gives a shit?
I think I figured out the reason.
That's fun. That's fun.
I'll allow you to compete with Jim. You used to be a big drinker. Did you get in trouble with the cops during those days?
You know what? I got pulled over a couple of times. One of them was... I think the first time I got pulled over was I was leaving there used to be a comedy club in the southern Chicago suburbs, KJ Riddle's Comedy Stop. And the guy, Ken, owned another bar that we would go to after hours, and we would just sit there and drink forever. And it was on the 27th of July, and then that bled over into the 28th of July, which was it was and is my birthday on a regular basis.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Was that you, Will? Thank you. And so I was driving home. This is just a short little, this is what we call the appetizer to the other story. The bar is maybe 3 miles from my house, and I'm driving home, and it's clear that I should not be driving. And it's now 7 a.m. Like we drank until 7 in the morning, possibly. And so the sun's up, and the sun's out. Obviously, the guns are out. You know that. I always go in a tank top whenever I drive that early in the morning. And I get pulled over, and I'm like, oh, this isn't good, because I know I'm hammered. I know, and he pulls me over, and he's like, can I see your license? Like, yeah, and I hand it to him, and And he looks and he goes, "Oh, hey, it's your birthday." I said, "It is my birthday." And he goes, "You've been drinking?" I go, "I've had a couple of drinks, yeah." And he's like,
I'm glad we can be honest with each other.
Right? I mean, it's clear I am. What am I going to lie? No, I'm not drunk. It's clear I'm hammered. And he's like, he looks at it and goes, "You're like 3 blocks from your house." I go, "I know I am. I'm 3 blocks from my house. I was that close to getting home." And he says, "Well, it's your birthday. I'll escort you home." So he escorted me home.
Wow.
But with you in your car, obviously. Right?
I stayed in my car. He stayed in his car. There was no reason for us to become friends. I mean, he just was helping me.
Yeah, he didn't like walk him home in that moment.
You know, he probably should. The truth is,
Yes.
I probably should have parked my car there, and he probably should have just driven me home. But it was 7 a.m. There weren't a lot of people there on the streets at that hour, and
Safe.
it was safe.
Yeah.
And then the other time was I was in, I want to say, Vincennes, Indiana, or somewhere in Indiana, and I was doing standing up comedy. And after the show, which probably went horribly, let's just assume it went horribly, Vincennes, Indiana. I think it's, I'm pretty sure that they're having a Klan rally as we speak. And, you know, it was a one-nighter hotel gig. You know, we've all done those where it's, just a bar. And then afterwards was this is dating this story, a wet T-shirt contest.
No.
And they asked me and the other comic, and I forget who that was, if we would be the judges. And sure, I'm all in on that. If you throw me a couple of beers.
You know what? That makes sense. It's a very clear, good lineup. You make them laugh, and then their dicks come out. And then that explains the behavior of some comedians. Maybe,
Right.
They
get confused. Right.
like the association gets made, and it's like, what are you going to do?
You know what?
When can I take my dick out?
I blame the
Today's
DJ at the
rules.
club. Exactly, Keith.
Of course. Last night, a DJ changed my life. She didn't say for the good or bad.
By the way, Keith, was that Jerry Seinfeld talking about when does he take his dick out? Is that who that was?
Mm-hmm. When can I take my dick out? What are these rules today?
I'm a robot. I don't know how to talk to human beings. I'm a horrible person. This is private, right? Nobody's hearing me say this. I'm a gazillionaire. Don't know how to react. All right, I don't know who that became. So he. So anyway, they say so. The wet contest, wet T-shirt contest starts, and I mean, it's just fucking. It's horrible. I mean, those are horrible. It's ridiculous. And so. But I was younger and into it and probably looking to get laid afterwards. And so I forget who, obviously somebody wins. But everybody that was finished, I told them I voted for them. That was my my pickup line was, I actually voted for you. I actually voted for you. Oh, that's great. And so one young lady did seem interested. And so she's like, hey, we're going across the street to this other bar.
I like that she's a young lady at that point.
She was very classy.
This one young lady was interested in my offer.
That's why she appealed to me. She was different than the others. The others were obviously clearly looking for any sort of action. This one was looking for conversation and maybe a gift. And she had heard the rumors how great of a gift giver I am. So she says, we're going across the street. And I'm like, okay, I'm in on that. And by the way, clearly I'm not. I should not be in on that. I should be. Oh, by the way, this is one of those gigs. And I'm sure we've all done them where you share the other hotel room because they're so fucking cheap. They make you share a hotel room with the other comic. And, you're so young in your career that you go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Where instead of going, no, I'm a fucking adult. What's that, a sleepover? Give me a room.
You go, a hotel for me?
I know. Oh, go. It's exciting. I don't have to drive all the way back to Chicago. Great. I'm in. So he wisely went to bed, the other comic. And I come into the room, and he goes, what are you doing? I go, I'm getting my keys. I'm going to go across the street. The girl wants me to meet her across the street. He goes, you shouldn't. What are you talking about? You don't drive. Walk across the street. I go, it's probably best if I drive. And
drive across.
You might want to go somewhere.
Yeah. And
was it actually physically across the street?
It literally was a 30-second walk. It was a 30-second walk.
So I imagine it would take even longer with a car.
Oh, yeah. And certainly the route I'm about to tell you took even longer. Yeah.
Cool.
So,
all rights. Mm-hmm.
But it was, of course, first, and then the guy, I wish I could remember who it was. It's probably somebody famous now. Who knows? So he, no, he's not. He was doing a one-nighter in Vincennes. So, or Oakland, whatever shit we were.
Kevin Hart.
So,
hey, what
are you going to do? Jimmy, you can borrow one of my cars. I got 35,000 cars. I don't touch my Tonight Show money. Oh, I don't even touch it. People can relate to that. I'm an asshole.
It's a pattern.
It's horrible. I wouldn't drive across the street. I mean, if you do, take my jalopy. It's interesting. Yeah, just put some, you put cheese in that. That one runs on cheese. Idiot. So he.
I'm sorry. What would it be like if Jay Leno was talking to Jerry Seinfeld in a Home Depot? What do you think they'd be talking about?
Are you going to be Jerry Seinfeld?
Okay.
Or do I have to be? I'm not Rich Little. I can't do all the. I don't do any voices. I barely do the two shit ones I just did. Hey,
Why
listen,
does Jimmy hate us?
I don't hate anybody. Oh, Jimmy. Oh, I don't know anything about Jimmy. Oh, just. Are we gonna get some paint, Jerry? We said paint. I don't know who that became. I don't do voices. I lost the voice halfway through it. This guy, let's just say it's Jay. I wouldn't go across the street, Jim. So the other comic says, don't even leave the room. Just go to sleep. And by the way, he's not wrong. I'm sitting on the bed listening to him say this, and I'm like, oh, I got no business leaving this room. And then I go, but oh, God. So,
I would do you're cutting out a little bit, but I would do that when I learned the phrase know when to say when, and I'd say to myself, literally right now, and then I keep going. But I'm aware.
Yeah, I was still so young first of all, I didn't drink until I didn't really start drinking until I drank a little bit before I became a comic, at parties and stuff like that. But I wasn't really a big drinker. And then once I became a comic and a road comic, as all of it, you're bored out of your mind. So you're drinking just to kill fucking time. That's all you're really doing. So I didn't really know that, Keith. So to me, it was like, and I was a young comic, so I'm on the road. This is one, again, I was young enough, I'm sure, in a hotel room. So I'm excited to just even be out doing comedy. So, and then there's a chance of getting laid on top of it. So I was like, oh my God, there's a stranger that wants to have sex with me. I'm in. So I don't know when to say when. I get in my car. I leave that hotel, which I believe was a Holiday Inn. I leave that. And I then decide to get on the freeway. And again, the bar is across the street from this hotel. I get on the freeway. And
you made a mistake, or
I would assume it was a mistake. Yes, right? It's across the fucking street, Keith. Yes, I made a mistake. I could see it. I literally probably could see it from my parked car. And then I went, yeah, I probably should use the on ramp. And by the way, quick side story from that. One time in Detroit, so drunk, I got on an on ramp going the wrong way on a freeway. I don't know how you could ever possibly do that, but I did it. So I'm going the wrong way down a highway.
What do you do? What do you play Frogger, or do you just kind of stay on the outside lane?
I think I just made a U-turn at some point and then went, oh, this isn't good, and then got back to the Red Roof Inn and was grateful that I was there and then not murdered.
Right, U-turn. Okay.
Yeah, U-turn. So on this particular day, I get on the freeway. Again, I'm trying to get across the street. I'm on the highway, and going way. I mean, and I'm like, and probably going like 20 miles an hour on a freeway, going, oh, this isn't good. What did I do here? And there's nobody, because it's in the middle of the night. There's nobody else on the highway, and so it's like, again, we learned about it. U-turn. I'm going to do it again. So I do a U-turn to get, and at this point, Keith, this is when I go, I probably should just go back to the hotel. This is ridiculous. What am I doing? And so then I make the U-turn, and as soon as I make the U-turn, the cop lights up his lights, and I'm like, oh shit. And by the way, again, it's clear I'm hammered. I should not be. Right. And so he
the
pulls
cop
me
gave
over.
you 5 chances. He's like, no, you're just, I'm going to get fired.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
If there's a helicopter in LA, I'm going to jail.
So he pulls me over and he comes over and he goes, what's going on? I go, well, and then I try, I remember, I tried that. I'm the comedian. I'm the comedian at the hotel there. We had a show. He's like, great. What are you doing now? I'm like, oh, he's trying to get across the street. And he goes, you're trying to go there? I go, yeah, I'm trying to go there. And even he's making fun of me. Right. And he goes, well, sir, I'm going to need you to come back and to the car and do a breathalyzer. And I'm like,
do you say no, thank you?
I did not know. I didn't. I said, okay. And I got out of the car and I started walking to his car. And honest to God, all I wanted to do was get to his car so I could sit down. Like I couldn't stand. I was so drunk. Like it was like I don't want to be standing. I just said, yes, let me sit down. I'll do whatever you need me to do. Just let me sit down.
Your hands are up.
So, hands are up, certainly. So I get in his car. I do the breathalyzer, and whatever it was at the time, 0.08 maybe was the limit at that time. I don't know. I think it was a 0.079 or something like that. And he showed it to me, and I go, what does that mean? He goes, it means I let you go. And I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, you don't blow a 0.08. I don't have to bring you in. And he goes, and your hotel's right there. And like he literally was like, it's there. And I go, what do I do? And he goes, well, He goes, look, I got kids your age, man. I'll escort you back there. You'll be all right. And so then he escorted me back. So 2 times when I truly should have been in jail, I got escorted back to where I need to be. So,
No lessons learned.
no, zero. I think it took another 4 years before I stopped drinking. Yeah, 0 lessons learned.
Now,
That would have
Jimmy,
been. I guess that would have.
Jimmy,
I'm
did
sorry,
you still
Jim.
go across? Did you still go across the street afterwards and walk there to go meet the girl, or no?
I did not. No, I think it was like, you know what? I got off pretty easy here. I should probably head back. Although, Jim, trust me, I'm sure it was like, should I still head over? Maybe I did. I don't remember. To be honest.
Maybe I did.
You mean the police escort thing didn't do it for you?
No.
It did not. No, that was. And by the way, I didn't stop drinking years later. One time I was in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I smashed my head on a sink so badly after drinking that I had to go to the emergency room and get stitches in my head, and that didn't stop me from drinking.
How did you land on a kitchen sink?
I was again sick at a hotel, and I was at the Comedy Den in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Great show. Got to assume standing ovation. And afterwards, again, just hanging out and getting drunk. And then I was driving back to the hotel, and I got in the hotel room, and I was trying to. There was always the thing that, like, if you brushed your teeth and took some aspirin, and that you'd wake up without a hangover. And I would do that every night. It never worked, but I did it. I did it every night.
Hulk Hogan used to say that. Yeah.
Hulk Hogan is a nice man, and I think we need to give him more respect. He and his whole family seem like terrific people. So I'm at the sink trying to brush my teeth, and I'm like, oh, this isn't. And by the way, the sink didn't have the knobs for the water. It had, that one big, kind of the War of the Worlds looking thing. You know what I mean? Like that, the big, just like a switchblade sticking out, just begging for you to pummel your eyeball into it.
Yep,
And
that's what sober people think when they look at
that. So I'm I'm trying to put the paste on brush. I'm like, oh, this can't be. And bam! And I hit my head on that, just literally like there was a magnet in my forehead. I hit the thing, and literally a plop noise happened when I pulled my head off of it, and blood started going everywhere.
Oh my God.
So blood starts going everywhere. Obviously, I don't plan for this to happen, so I had to rip a pillowcase up and tie it around my head to stop the bleeding. And
you couldn't brush your teeth, but you can give yourself like this makeshift bandage.
I was in Vietnam, young lady, and I would appreciate it if you'd have respect for my service. I went there in 1987 as a chaperone on a school field trip, but I went to Nam.
Sir, yes, sir.
Thank you very much. So, yeah, I gave myself a little triage. So I get
tell
that.
your drunk story, sir.
So I pass out, by the way, in a pool of my own blood. I come to. I put this thing on my head. I have to leave because I gotta get. This is a Sunday morning. I gotta get on a plane and get home, and I'm dragging my luggage down the hall, and this thing. I look like that guy in the Spirit of '76 poster, with that the SWAT, the cotton around his head and cloth around his head and playing a fife. And I get down to the front desk, and the woman sees my forehead, wants to look at it, but doesn't want to look at it because maybe that's always my forehead. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't want to go, hey, what's with your forehead? I go, what do you mean? You mind your business. So she's kind of like pretending like she's not looking. She's trying to check me out, and then she's looking, and so she's like got that little lizard eye going where she takes a little peekaboo. And finally, I'm about to pass out again. So I said, hey, do you think this needs medical attention? And as if she's been waiting her entire life to answer this, she yells, oh my God, yes! She yells it. Housekeeping comes running down the hall. They see it. They go, you need medical attention. And so then they sent me down to the emergency room to get medical attention. And I went down there and I got, I want to say 17 stitches. So
really? You can't see them.
No
lessons learned.
Right.
And again, no lesson learned there either. To your point, I didn't stop drinking that day, and it took another few years.
It's easy for us alcoholics to make excuses, for example, like, well, it's just a 0.79. It wasn't a 0.8. I remember being like, okay, I'm bumping into shit when I'm drunk. Keith, you have a fucking problem. Then I'm sober and I trip over something. I'm like, oh, it happens fucking anyway.
Yeah, might as well just keep drinking. Exactly.
Right. What's the fucking difference? Sure.
In fairness to me, Keith, I wasn't an alcoholic. These stories here, I wasn't really an alcoholic yet. I was just kind of a drinker killing time, and then I became a drinker. I'm sober 22 years now. I think almost 23.
Yeah.
But I wasn't yet. These were the young days of getting to. I should go to a meeting. I was building up the if I showed up in a meeting with at this point, they would have been like, "Get out of here! You're just a guy that goes and gets drunk at parties. That guy lit his hair on fire. Get out of here."
Well, it's progressive. Where the fuck could it go? You're going across the street. You find yourself in an airplane. I mean, how does it get?
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I can see the sun in your windows. Like the sun is rising in your background right now.
Yeah, it's the wild goddamn West. I mean, I'm in Rutherford, New Jersey. I just headlined a club called Bananas. What does that even mean anymore? I was talking to Bobby. This is a true story. I was talking to Bobby Kelly last night or 2 nights ago. And he goes, "Where are you performing tonight?" I go, "Bananas." And I go, "Where are you performing?" He goes, "Uncle Vinny's." And I go, "Dude, what are we doing? What are we doing?"
Are the names to humble you comedians? Is that why they name it so fucking goofy? Like, don't take yourself so seriously. You're lucky you get paid anything. You're at Bananas.
Yeah.
Like, you're still a business, you asshole.
Well, first they had to come up with the name and the venue, and then they started hiring comedians, and they're like, "Oh shit, this is what funny is. Fuck, we already called the place Bananas."
Right.
No, I think it's just because comedians, like, all due respect, like, you guys are fucking awesome. I love you guys. But you're like, the truth tellers. You're the only ones who like really can kind of get into the nitty gritty of like what society is like saying. Okay. And like,
Bianca, I like to say what everybody's thinking,
And yeah, I just say what everybody's thinking. So like for me to have to deign to do that in a venue called Bananas when I'm literally in a grand tradition of truth teller.
It should be called Aristotle's, not Bananas.
Yeah.
Right.
Aristotle sounds like a strip club. I want that to be known. That's not bad.
Yeah. I don't deserve any better than this. I'm not,
No, I just think you need to elevate your perception of a banana. It is the highest calorie fruit, and makes for a delicious snack. So, and you know who eats them? Monkeys, and they're funny. So,
yeah. Why is banana the comedy fruit? Because
because it can be a phone. It can be a phone.
You guys love doing phone stuff, right? Admit it.
You could slip on it. You could lose your life. That's hilarious. You know? What if you slip on a banana and fall in traffic? That's great.
I should specify. I do all banana humor on stage.
Don't get me wrong. It's
the shape of a penis. And penis is a big comedy sort of body part.
Right. Joe's like, but when there's a big banana behind you, it feels hacky to the audience.
Joe's like, it's all banana. It's a 30-minute closer where I unpeel and blow a banana specifically. Yeah. That's why you do not want to see me at Uncle Vinny's. Ooh, that's a rough theme set.
Oh yeah, but what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
That's life. Maybe kill myself today, maybe tomorrow, maybe keep it. Anyways, Shalewa Sharpe, what would your exes say about you? Pros and cons. I'd love to know that.
I don't know. They'd probably say I never really got down her name. I never really nailed it.
You mean Sharon Lynn?
The one with glasses, right? The one who kept playing music for me.
Did you make mixtapes?
Oh yeah, sure, absolutely. I made mixtapes.
Would you sit them down and put headphones on them and stare at them?
I mean, sometimes they needed the education.
Right.
No, I guess like a pro. I guess they would say a pro about me was like that I let them hit it raw.
Okay, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I did not expect that.
I'm a real sweetheart that way.
Good for you.
Look, I don't drink. I don't do any drugs. I mean,
is that a plus for them or no?
No, but I mean those vices out of the way.
Right.
The vice that I'm willing to take on. A plus for them. A plus for them. Let's go ahead. Let's spin that roulette wheel. And honestly, it's only hit once. So
wow, congratulations.
I know, right? I was like, and so late. I was like, oh my God.
It's so late.
I really didn't think there was any connection, but anywho, that's not true. I knew that dude had knocked me up from his last thrust. I knew it.
Really? Really?
Yeah. He was Nigerian, and I was like, oh, that last thrust was from the motherland. I felt it. I felt the connection immediately.
Whoa.
I was like, we'll name him Quasi. I knew right away.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if people understand how on point that name is. That is so funny. That's unbelievably funny. Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
good for you.
I mean, that's just anyone who's lived with the name Shalewa knows that you can't just name your kid Jake, right? You can't do that. Unfortunately.
I have the name Chemda, and I have considered, like, I don't know if I would be able to call my child like Gregory, but I'm not going to name it. I'm not going to have one. And this is why, but I don't feel connected to Israeli names. I'm not going to just come up with that. So, and it has to be like some kind of weird mix. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. I don't know if my parents realized what they put in motion by naming me Shalewa. And my sister's name is Zakia. So they were like, oh, we're going to keep this African tradition going. And I'm like, your names were Shirley and Lonnie. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. You can't go half-assed with it. You should have changed our last name from Sharp to something else. And now, yeah. So we decided, my sister and I were like, whoa, the buck stops here. All Sharps stop here. We're the end of the line and we're not doing it anymore. So
but because of like the more uniqueness of my name, I was able to get chemda.com. Were you able to get shalewa.com?
No, because it's a fairly popular Nigerian name. But I also Shalewa.com. I don't want to be the one. It's bad enough. I did get Shalewa at Gmail.
That's
cool. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, but that is definitely biting me in the ass right now because other Shalewas or versions of Shalewas who are just signing up for crazy shit are just like, I don't know, Shalewa.com. That can't be taken. It is. One of them is really trying to better herself, though. She has signed up for things that I was like, oh, I didn't know that was an option.
So you're kind of keeping up with the Shalewas based on their purchases.
Yeah.
You're their Amazon.
Yeah.
You have their feed.
I mean, the only time that I tried to contact whoever emailed me was they sent me a bill for like some sort of natal, like someone having a baby somewhere in Nigeria. And I was like, oh, I don't have the rubles for this. This isn't me. I don't know. And so I had to email them and go, hey, maybe throw like a .uk or something on that. That's not me. It's not. I'm in Georgia. I didn't do that. So
whoa, I didn't even think that you can get their mail now, just based on your name.
Yeah.
I'm percolating right now like a screenplay idea, like the lake house, but it's your future self communicating with you through your inbox by signing you up for wellness subscriptions. Okay.
Well, a younger version of me thought that I'd be interested in yoga, and that was incorrect.
Isn't it so funny how like every 6 months you're like, yoga's probably gonna be the thing, right?
No, it's not. I never think about it. Because I can touch my toes as long as I can scratch, as long as I can touch my toes and scratch between my shoulder blades, I'm good. I can live forever.
Pretty big brag here.
So, yeah, I'm just saying.
And that's my pro. And I'm not telling you more about that.
Yep. Yeah. So that is definitely something my exes would say about me. Like, well, I mean, she could zip her dresses up all the way by herself. I really didn't see the reason to stick around at that point. She's an independent woman.
By the way, speaking of proposals, you, of course, you assumed your dad proposed to your mom.
Right.
You found out it was actually an ultimatum. Your mom said what?
Shit or get off the pot. Like,
and
it's
here
been
you
2
are.
years. It's been 2 years. It's been 2 years. Let's do this. And it's like, all right. I mean, I guess I just assumed that there was a proposal because, I was a kid and all I did was watch things. And that's how
Right.
that's how people got married. I also assumed that we needed a lawyer when I was like, I don't know, 6. And from watching, I don't know what I was watching. Soap operas, The Love Boat, The Dukes of Hazzard. I don't know what it was that made me think we needed a family lawyer. But I remember at 6, like kicking in their bedroom door and just going like, where's our lawyer? And my mom going, what?
That's so scary.
Yeah. I just thought it was someone we needed to contact because my sister wet the bed. So
is it because in movies they say things like, I'm gonna get my lawyer? And it's
yes,
like, we're
and
just
no
fighting.
No one says like that involves money and adulthood and that kind of shit. So, I was just like, oh, we need a lawyer because I can't with this bitch anymore. But yeah, so I just assumed that my dad did the whole thing down on one knee somewhere and blah, blah, blah. And I think I was, I don't know, in my 20s when I said something about, and then I guess when he proposed to you and my mom's like, what? Nah, I told him he needed to hurry up. And I was like, oh no.
Do you think they had a good relationship?
Yes, I do. Only because my mother had a stroke in her like mid 40s and my dad stuck around and took care of her. So I mean, either I can only assume her pussy was popping or he was putting it down. Something was happening because there was no need. I mean, my sister was a teenager, I was in my 20s. Like, we would have been fine if they had broken up, but no, they stayed together.
Right. But you could find out through 23andMe, by the way, if it was the pussy or the
no, I don't do that. You white folks can figure out what you're made up all you want, but I'm not going to figure out which cousin of mine is going to jail because I was curious what kind of black I was. I'm just black here. It doesn't matter. Y'all don't care. Y'all don't care. No one has ever said, but I mean, what part of Africa? No one gives a fuck. We're just going to follow me around the Macy's no matter what. At no point are they going to go, oh, you're from Ghana? Never mind. Your people are good.
I'm like, my parents are Lonnie and Shirley.
Shirley, haven't you heard?
I've been to a Macy's. Relax.
Calm down.
When I was married, my in-laws got me one of those 23andMe things or whatever. And now that I think about it, should I have been offended? Like, I'm already married to your kid. Why do you need to know where I come from? And it turns out you guys are going to be really shocked about this. 97% Middle Eastern. Can you imagine? Can you believe it?
I did not see that coming.
Where would that come from?
What was the other 3%?
It didn't really say. It just said not, or maybe it said Ashkenazi.
Not from around here. Get out of here.
Yeah. It said, like, to me, that 3% is like someone fucked up.
Sure.
Someone was on their way to the next place and they had a layover and they weren't supposed to do that.
And our ancestors have layovers? I don't know.
No, it's like different kinds of, like
believe it. I can't get a direct flight on the Mayflower. Right? I gotta stop over.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's how we got the Caribbean. I guess America is just one big layover at some point. I guess.
Brilliant. Exactly right.
Yeah, I guess so.
Excuse me. I did 2 of those tests too because I'm adopted, and I found out that I was 100% Arab.
From where?
They got more specific. It's weird because I did the Ancestry.com one first. Somebody got it for me for my birthday because as an adopted person, it was a cool gift. And then I did 23andMe, but 23andMe sort of updates as it goes. It's wild. Like, so it gets a little more specific as it goes, which is also frightening, that, you give your DNA away. And I didn't think of that at the time, but it's mostly Egyptian and Middle Eastern. It's a lot of Middle Eastern, like Saudi Arabia, you know, and that sort of general area, and then Egyptian. But I thought I was like at least a little bit Italian, and I'm none at all.
And your adopted parents are Italian?
Yes.
100%?
Yes. Yeah, they're 100%. So
did you always know you were adopted?
What I was going to ask.
Yeah, no, I always knew I was adopted. I didn't know I was at least part Arab till I was 12. My mom didn't tell me until I was 12. So up until that point, I thought I was Italian. But I knew I was adopted. She just didn't tell me the Arab part till I was 12. I think because we lived in such a Roman Catholic, Irish Catholic, very white bread, closed-minded neighborhood. Like, I think she was afraid that it would bring me harm in the neighborhood because it wasn't a very diverse environment. You know, it was crazy how white it was. And
have you
Catholic.
Since then learned the call of our people?
Nope. Oh yeah, that I know.
Thank you for stepping away from the mic to do that. I appreciate that. My cat appreciates that. Thank you. Thank you.
It was very professional.
It was.
Thank you. That's part of the teachings as you grow up in these households. You know how loud you are, and you move away from the mic. It's appropriate.
Were you raised?
Mhm.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step
ahead.
on. I was going to say, were you raised? Because I completely identify as an Italian person because that's how I was raised. It's what I grew up around. I accept my Arabness, but I have very little, connection to it because I've just never experienced the culture very much unless I've done Arab comedy shows. That's the only time.
Oh yeah.
That's when I've met like Arab friends and started to learn about it. But but I don't know. I was just asking if you grew up in
I did.
Yeah.
Because I grew up very with the Middle Eastern food and the old school thinking, the expectation of virginity, the female is the second class, and has to follow. And why are you doing that? You're female. Like there was a lot of that, but it was, and my parents eventually spoke English, but their common language was Hebrew. My father's from Iran, so he speaks Persian, and my mother's parents are from Iraq, so she's got to speak Arabic to them. So it was all there. Our barbecues were, on sticks. Sure. So it was definitely there. And I went to yeshiva, so now I'm surrounded by Jews, and I'm like, then why still don't I fit? Why are they different? I always thought it was just like, I guess a foreigner thing, like people don't understand because there were things that I saw in sitcoms, like, kids would close the door or like run upstairs when they're mad. I'm like, where are you going? I will stand there until these people dismiss me. I'm not talking to you. Who are you talking to? Your parents? And it was just this breeze that other kids used to have. Like, my mom's a bitch. And I'm like, is she... do you know that she's listening to everything we're saying? Are you just calling her a bitch in front of other people?
Yeah, it's wild.
Holy
right?
shit. So I associate that with Middle Eastern things and, my parents' accent and people treating them a certain way, but it was fine, but there is a difference.
That's interesting because there's I also had that like cultural clash with the people around me because it was still a suburban neighborhood and it was white suburbia. And I had a lot of friends that were allowed to like curse in front of their parents and all that stuff. And that would call their mom a bitch. And then I started to think it was okay. And I remember I called my mom a bitch one day and my dad came out of the basement and kicked the fucking shit out of me. And I was just like, oh, I guess I can't do that.
I don't know if that's the greatest way to respond. Holy shit.
Well, it happens, I'm not mad at it. It taught me a lesson, but what are you going to do? But it was chivalry. It was him being chivalrous.
Right. Yeah.
But it was
it's true.
It was a different time. It was like, he was like, what the fuck did you just say? Like, it was like,
I got to kick this out of you. And by the way, we're saying hi to Jessica Watkins. Chime in whenever.
Yes,
another
sir.
trooper early.
I mean,
in the morning.
in all fairness, your moms probably were being bitches.
Careful, Joe's dad's gonna come kick your ass.
Yeah.
Moms can
old
be
and
some
weak.
bitches.
Ben,
But yeah,
you're adopted, right?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. Do I like bring
Yes.
this up? But
Yes.
yeah, I am also adopted, but
But
I
you
was-
knew.
Yeah, it was. I'm black. They're white. It was. We figured it out pretty early. So
You're like,
no shit though. That's
Yeah.
that's an interesting dynamic. Was that
for me,
what was that like? I mean, that's I don't want to be cliched, but but
now when did they tell you that you were black and they were white? Because Joe found out that he was Arab when he was 12. So when did they have that conversation with you?
I was 12 and I went up to my parents. I was like, I'm Italian, right? And they're like,
Like,
buddy, we've got something.
They're like,
to tell
no,
you."
you're Middle Eastern. But
like, not only are you not Italian, you're painfully stupid.
You've met my dad. Okay, perfect. So,
No, but what was that? Seriously, yeah, that's so interesting, man.
Can I read a Kickstarter sponsor, please?
Please.
Oh,
They're so fun to read.
I wish you would.
Yeah, it's
the
good
Kicks-
timing because it's right before the greatest
Yeah.
story ever.
Yeah, yeah. And you guys can decide who's telling it. If you can work that out while I'm doing the sponsor, I'd appreciate it. This is from Ronnie Looney. Ronnie Looney helped support this marathon and make it happen. He says, "This is dedicated to the love of my life, Kate."
Oh, Kate.
Aw.
I hope that's
Mark.
good news for Kate.
And my wife, Janet. No, I'm just kidding.
Kate. that was the great joke you said was coming out. That was a great
That's
joke.
right. It's very meta. It's sponsored in itself. The hour is dedicated to the love of my life, Kate. Love bug. I'm so proud of the life we've built together with our little bear. I assume that's a person. And I am so honored to now be able to call you fiance.
Imagine she didn't know that either.
This is this
Anyway,
is the
will ya?
proposal. Yeah. Oh wow.
So what do you say with that? You make me happier than I've ever been in my whole life. And that's exactly how I want to be for you. You
No
know how much
pressure. By the way,
No
this
pressure.
is so nice. I need to stop.
We're
know how
uncomfortable
much-
around genuine feelings.
Oh, people are in love. They are happy.
This is-
I feel
feel
that
like-
way too about my relationship.
is this a prank on us?
If only everyone felt this way, then the world would be a better place.
Okay, I get it now. Start over. Start over. I got
Okay.
this.
This hour is dedicated to the love of my life, Kate.
Oh my God, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard. Can you please read on?
Love bug.
Love bug. That's their nickname. Oh, and he's
I haven't
using it in
heard that one
public.
before.
Normally
Oh.
bugs are bad, but this one's a bug of love.
Oh my goodness. Do they sting? No, they don't.
I'm so proud of the life we built together with our little bear. And I am so honored to now be able to call you fiance.
Oh my goodness. She said yes.
You
Or
make
he
me
said yes. I don't want to be an asshole here.
Someone
Actually-
said yes.
Yes. They
Actually,
both
I-
agreed.
I can see ahead. The next sponsor is Kate saying no. But
Uh-oh.
Please, we were trying to be sincere.
let's do one at a time. One at a time. You make me happier than I've ever been in my whole life. And that's exactly how I want to be for you. You know how much I love Keith and Chemda because they have helped shape me into the person I am for basically half my life.
And I could still show vulnerability. Fuck them now that I think about it.
And know that I still love you even more. You would think less with Keith's attitude, but it's more. P.S. You can always have my lucky charms. What the fuck does that mean? That makes no fucking sense. You can always have my lucky charms?
What?
What is that?
Here's I have a theory. I have a theory that there's something in their life that is a reference to, but since we're not in their life, like that's they paid money to make us feel like outsiders to their relationship.
Other things you don't know about. Car honky. Okay, all right, I believe you. P.S. You can always have my lucky charms. Wink face. Yeah, you're probably right with the wink face. Well, that's beautiful.
I think
Congrats
they-
there,
I think that-
Ronnie and Kate.
It sounds like he got in trouble and she's mad at him and he just
and flowers weren't going to cut it.
yeah, flowers. He's
Can't eat
"I wanna
flowers."
take that."
We could always make
Yeah.
it bad. Thank you, Ron.
And the
Dylan, you
fight, the fight was definitely about the Lucky Charms too.
Of course you can have them, sweetheart. I mean, love bug.
You got me.
Dylan, you can turn on your cam whenever.
Oh my God. Hi.
Hi, Dylan.
Hi.
I've just been kind of creeping
What
while
an
like watching
entrance.
this entire. Hi, I'm happy to be here. Hello, everyone.
Good to
How
see
you doing?
Good. I'm actually the couple that wrote in the Lucky Charm thing.
What the fuck did Lucky Charms mean? Oh,
Yeah.
oral sex.
Yes, yes, yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think pink blah blahs, but nothing's coming to mind.
I like that.
Unfiltered.
I like that you're creeping on a show that you were invited to be a guest on. You're
Oh,
like,
that's right. That's right.
I may be here. Hi.
Hey, I'm just kind of yeah.
How's it going? How's your instrument?
I'm good. The piano is good. It's right
Oh,
below
beautiful.
me.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Oh, wow.
it's sounding good. I'm in LA. I'm feeling good.
Would it be crazy to ask you to play something right off the bat?
Oh my God, yes. I didn't bring a mic stand, so I'm gonna hold the mic in between my legs.
Oh, I like
But-
that.
Oh wow.
So all right, I'll do one thing quick. I guess this is I'm gonna do an impression. This is if Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter,
Uh-huh.
covered Adele's Hello. Here we
Oh.
go. R.I.P. Too soon. Hello. Yeah, this next thing we're gonna do. R.I.P. This next, yeah. Should I go on or should I?
Please, please.
Okay.
Please, yeah.
This
Love
is this is my take on a Disney classic. Here we go. A dream is a wish your heart makes. But what about a dream where you have sex with your twin brother at an Arby's? This next thing I want to talk about. I know Arby's is gross.
oh yeah,
Yes.
I'm vegan.
I know.
Sick.
I'd never eat there. Never.
Let's go.
This last impression. This is just a
Yes.
song about something that happened to me in high school. Here we go.
Okay.
One time in high school English, I wrote an essay that scared my English teacher. She called me in at lunch. I came in and I said I felt so depressed and started crying. She said, you know, when you feel depressed, you can just decide to be happy. Then the meeting was over. Yeah.
She's
I
a
know.
doctor.
Literal clinic licensed therapist. Yes.
What?
Oof.
Yes.
We asked the guests, and we'll go through make sure we go through everybody here. What would their exes say? What would they all, if they got together, how would they describe said guest? Pros and cons. It's a trick. I really just want the cons. And I see Dylan here said, I've never been in a relationship, but I hope the pros would be good listener, good in social situations, cons, disorganized and late to stuff.
That's right. Was I late to this?
Great. No.
Okay.
So you never had a relationship?
I've never, but I feel like I'm inching on one recently, but I've never had
Yeah?
a relationship. Yeah.
Like with us?
Yes, exactly.
You're creeping in.
I'm
Dylan,
creeping in. Voyeur.
would you say that your relationships have been like your songs? Like you think that they might be a little longer, but then they end up being just like real quick, and they end with a punchline.
Exactly. They start on Grinder and end on Grinder. They're just like bam, bam, bam. They're exactly like, wow, that was really deep.
He does 3 2-second songs. Did I get the light or?
Yeah,
How's everybody
exactly.
doing?
Exactly.
KeithAndTheGirl.com.